Good morning all. Today's topic of discussion is PLD architecture and applications part 3. The objective of this lecture is to make the students familiarize with architectural details of CPLD. What is CPLD? That is the complex programmable logic devices. Complex programmable logic devices are another way to extend the density of simple PLDs. The concept is to have a few PLD blocks or macro cells on a single device with general purpose interconnect in between. Simple logic path can be implemented within a single block, and more sophisticated logic will require multiple blocks and use the general purpose interconnect in between to make these connections. So there are many vendors which manufacture these CPLDs, and there are many families of CPLDs. So some CPLD families from different vendors are listed here. Altera Max 7000 and Max 9000 families. Then Atmel ATF and ATV families. Lattice ISP LSI family. Lattice Vantis, that is Mac family, and Xilinx XC9500 family. So in your syllabus we will be doing the detailed study of this Xilinx XC9500 family. So this is the architecture of this CPLD. So we can see the different blocks in this CPLD. The important block of CPLD is PLA or PAL. So in my second lecture we have already studied the details of this PLA or PAL. These are the programmable logic arrays or the programmable array logic. These PAL and PLA, they are consisting of the array of AND gate and OR gates. Either the AND as well as OR gate both are programmable, or any one is fixed logic and the other is programmable. And with the help of this PAL and PLA we can implement any sum of product logic, as it is having the array of AND and then array of OR gates. So such multiple PLA or PAL blocks are present in this CPLD. So with the help of PAL or PLA we can implement the logic, but that is the small design can be implemented with the help of that. For implementation of complex logic, these blocks are not sufficient. So such multiple blocks are to be interconnected, and that interconnection is done with the help of interconnect array. So in between you can see the interconnect array is there, and with the help of which we can have the interconnection. So this middle block is interconnect array. So this PAL or PLA is connected to this second PAL or PLA through the interconnect array. So this interconnect array is programmable. We can program this interconnect array and we can have the interconnection as per our requirement between the different PAL or PLA blocks. So thus a CPLD is an erasable programmable device based on EEPROM or E2PROM technology. So we have studied the technology for the programmable logic devices. The different technologies like anti-fuse technology, SRAM technology, EEPROM technology, E2PROM technology can be used. So these PAL and PLA, they can be programmed with the help of EEPROM or E2PROM. Basic CPLD cell is called as a macro cell. So to this PAL or PLA we can see some cells are connected. These are MC0, MC1 up to MC15. These are called as the macro cell. Then we have a CLB, that is the configurable logical block, which is composed of AND array surrounded by an interconnect area. So this is the AND and OR logic is available, and that is surrounded by the interconnect area. CPLD may be thought of as the multiple interconnected SPLDs. So the simple PLDs which are consisting of PAL or PLA. So such multiple SPLD are there. So this is, we can say this is one SPLD block. Likewise, there is a second SPLD block. So such multiple simple PLD blocks are present, and these SPLD blocks called a logic block is based on PAL PLA macro cell and IO structure. So this is the Xilinx IC, that is XE9572. So these ICs are the programmable devices in which we can dump any digital design. This is one more manufacturer chip, that is Altera Max. And this is the architecture of this XE9500 family. So this is that XE stands for Xilinx, and this 9500 is the family. This 00 is can be replaced by the different numbers like 9572 or 9536. So likewise there are different ICs in this family XE9500, and this is the detailed architecture of CPLD. Now this XE9500 is a high performance CPLD, and the important features of this family are the 5 nanosecond pin to pin logic delay on all the pins. So this family is very fast, and the delay is only 5 nanosecond from pin to pin. The system frequencies are up to 200 megahertz. That is the operating frequency of this chip. It is optimized for high performance 2.5 volt system, and there is a facility of 5 volt in system programming. So we can have a in system programming. So you can see the in system programming controller is there, and which is connected through a JTAG controller. This JTAG is nothing but the joint test access group controller. So this controller is adding the facility of the testing of the circuit, as well as the programming facility is also available through this JTAG. So this is a serial port. So on this particular pin you can see the data is coming, and that will go inside, and we can program the device. The superior pin locking and routability with fast connect switch matrix. So we have this fast connect switch matrix, with the help of which we can have a programmable interconnect between the different blocks. Up to 90 product term per macro cell with individual product term allocation. So we can have the 90 product term which can be implemented with the help of this. Each macro cell, actually there are 18 macro cells in one function block. You can see there are 1 to 18 macro cell, and each macro cell can implement the 5 variable functions. So total 18 multiplied by 5 means 90 variable function can be implemented with the help of one function block. The advanced CMOS 5 volt flash technology is there. Then the drive current is of 24 milliamperes, and the full IEEE standard 1149.1 boundary scan JTAG support for all the devices. So all the IO pins of this particular device, these are the IO pins. So all these IO pins are connected in a chain fashion through this JTAG. So through this JTAG we can send some data, and that can run through the chain of all the IO ports. So likewise there will be multiple function blocks present in the chip, which can be interconnected through the fast connect switch matrix. We have the facility of in-system programming, as well as the JTAG controller is there to have this serial programming, as well as the boundary scan checking of the device or the chip. We'll see the details of this architecture. So we have I/O blocks which connects the I/O pin to the switch matrix. Each pin can be used as either in pin or a out pin. So ideally any pin of the XC95 series or any CPLD can be configured as input pin or output pin. Then we have the function block which consists of the product term allocator, and just now we have seen in each function block we have 18 macro cell, and each macro cell can implement the 5 variable logic. So total 90 variable logic can be implemented using a single function block, and we have the D or T flip-flop also. Macro cell, it consists of one D or T flip-flop, and thus each function block consists of 18 flip-flops. Output of each macro cell is available on pin through the I/O block, and same output are given to switch matrix as feedback. Then there is a switch matrix, connects the required feedback and input to the function block. Then we have a JTAG port. It is a serial port used to configure the CPLD from PC by downloading the bit stream. Then GCK, that is the global clock input, which can be connected to each flip-flop. Then GSR is a global set reset to be connected each function block. So separately we can have the set reset of the flip-flops of a particular group. GTS is a global tri-state or third state enable signal to be used to operate the input pin in a Z mode. Z means the tri-state mode. Then these are the specifications of this family. So as I told earlier, this XC9500 family is having the different chips, and these chips may be XC953X, then XC9572, XC95108, XC95144, XC95216, XC95288. Now here the last 2 or 3 digits, means after 95 whatever number is written, that is indicating the number of macro cell. Like in 9536 we have 36 macro cell. In 9572 we have 72 macro cell, like 108, 144, 216, 288. So as per the size of the design to be embedded or targeted, we can select a particular chip in this particular family. Like based on the size of the design, this 72 indicates the macro cell, and also the gate capacity is also specified over here. So here 36 macro cell are there and gates are 800 kilo gates. So this is in kilo gates, number of kilo gates. So for 9572 the number of kilo gates are 1600. And these are the other performance specifications like number of registers, then the delay times are also specified, operating frequency. These are the different factors. So based on these factors, a particular chip can be selected for the required application. Now one by one we'll see the details of the different blocks of the CPLD. So the important block in which the actual implementation of the circuit is done, that is called as the function block. Now in this function block you can see the different parts. Like first one is the programmable AND array. So we have a programmable AND array, and then we have the product term allocator. So which particular product term is to be allocated, and as per that which macro cell will be used, that is decided. Now here you can see 18 macro cells are there. So for each function block we have 18 macro cells available, and each macro cell, the single macro cell, can implement the 5 variable SOP expression, that is the sum of product expression. And then this is going to the IO blocks. So for this block we have the global set reset, global clock. These are the inputs which can be given. And then the different product term outputs are available. So if the size of the logical expression to be implemented is greater, then this one function block may not be sufficient. So likewise there will be another function block which can be utilized, and then these two blocks can be interconnected. Now for interconnection purpose we have the signal which is there, which is coming from the switch matrix. So through this switch matrix signal we can interconnect the different function blocks, and we can have the implementation of bigger circuit. So these are the features: 18 macro cell per function block, 36 input per function block, partitioning challenge, but also reason for relatively compact size of the function block. And then we have macro cell output can go to the IO cells or back into the switch matrix to be routed to this or the other function block. Then the next important part is now we'll see the much more details of the same, that is function block. So this is in the form of a circuit diagram. So previously it was in the block diagram form. Now for this circuit diagram, as we discussed earlier, the first block is your programmable AND array. So this block is programmable AND array, this portion. Okay. So for each AND gate we can see the signals which are going are the direct signal and the inverted one. And then as per the programming over here we can implement a particular logic function. Now this logic function which is implemented with the help of this programmable AND array is given to the product term allocator. So the next block is product term allocator. So through this product term allocator, the signal is the particular product terms will be collected from these array of AND gates. It will be, and then it will be allocated and then given to the next block, that is called as the macro cell. So in this macro cell we can see the some of the multiplexers and the flip-flop are there, and the outputs are going to the IO block. So through this macro cell the signal will be going towards the different IO blocks. Now these IO blocks are having the facility of assigning a particular pin as a either input pin or a output pin. So either it will go to the IO block as it is shown over here, to the IO blocks, or it can go to the fast connect switch matrix. So if the signal is to be connected to another functional block, then output of this first functional block will act as an input to the next functional block. So through this programmable switch matrix it will be connected to the next function block, or if the processing is completed then it can be connected to the IO block directly. We'll see the details of this micro cell. So this macro cell, the detail diagram is given over here. So for this macro cell we have the important input that is called as the set control. So this will decide the signal which is going to the set input of the flip-flop. So it can set the particular flip-flop. Now the next important signal is programmable inversion or XOR product term. So here we can apply up to 5 product terms. So it will be implemented with the help of the AND array. Then through the product term allocator it will come to the macro cell. The next signal, which is another important signal, is global clock or the product term clock. So For all the flip-flops present in different macro cell, we can apply the same or the global clock. Then we have a reset control similar to the set control, and then one more is there, that is the output enable control. So when this signal will be high, then only the output will be available to the, and which will be connected to the IO block. Now the next important block is the product term allocator. So we have the 18 macro cell with the 5 product term, those are available in the function block, and the maximum product term is 90. And with the help of this product term allocator, we can allocate a particular term which is coming from the array of AND gates. So it will be arranged over here, it will be allocated. So at a time which particular term is allocated to the macro cell, that is decided with the help of this product term allocator. We can see the details of this matrix, that is the fast connect switch matrix. So we can see in this fast connect switch matrix, this is the matrix through which we can have the interconnection between the different function blocks. So this is one function block, second function block. To each function block, 54 inputs are coming. So 54 to this first block, 54 to the second, and how these will be interconnected. So that is connected through this fast connect to switch matrix, which is programmable one. So either we can connect this to the internal logic, another function block, or through the same matrix we can connect it to the IO blocks. That is also possible. So now we will see what is inside this IO block. So this is the detailed diagram of IO block. So user programmable ground facility enable user to declare any IO pin as ground, and if unused IO pins are grounded, the interference, that is EMI RFI noise, is minimized. So there are multiple IO pins available, and those IO pins, out of that any pin we can declare as a ground pin or IO pin, and the unused pins are always grounded to minimize the EMI RFI noise. The slew rate is user programmable, and lowering the slew rate enables user to reduce the ringing and noise effect. So the operating frequency of these CPLDs is around 200 gigahertz. So, and for that we can have the slew rate which is programmable one. So through this IO block, all these facilities we can obtain, like we can minimize the noise, we can reduce the ringing effect, we can have the programmable slew rate. So all these things we can have. So for this IO pin, you can see the pull-up resistor facilities available, or the user programmable ground is also available. So inside the chip itself, we have that grounding facility. So through program, we can ground the pin, and either we can use this particular IO as input or a output. So if it is configured as an input, then the signal will be taken through this input buffer, it is going to the internal switch matrix. If it is configured as an output, then from the macro cell, the signal will be coming over here. Through this output driver, it will be connected to the IO pin, and we can pull up the pin with the help of this facility, which is the pull-up resistor facility available. Thank you.